This is Zag Tools TiNy, most high-tech knife you probably never heard of. Right now you're probably thinking, what's so high-tech about it? I mean, a knife is a knife, right? Well, this thing has a Magnacut blade. It's got a 3D printed, or should I say 3D laser bonded titanium handle, and it's also got a 3D printed polyamide sheet. And today we're gonna test it out and see how it performs. Now let me just give you a close-up of the knife to see how it actually looks like and what are the features. So this is a 4-inch Magnacut blade, hardened at 65 RC. Come on, focus. There you go. Magnacut at 65. This is pure titanium handle. It's 3D printed, or actually it's 3D laser bonded titanium. It's incredibly lightweight. It's got a really good grip, and it just looks cool. Now that you've seen the knife close up, we can start testing it out. First, I'll make a stick, just a simple stick, because of this guy right there. We just got here, he's full of energy and he's whining, so I need to make him tired, so he stays put and he stays quiet. Then we'll make a fire, we'll do some batoning, we'll do some feather stinking, some push cutting, pull cutting, whatever, just to test the knife out. And then we'll cook some coffee, because it's early in the morning and I didn't have any coffee yet, so I really need coffee. Dođi. Okay, let's make that fire. There's a lot of dead standing wood right here, like this one. So I'm gonna cut it down, process it and make fire. Now I'm not gonna cut it down with this tiny little knife, because this thing is incredibly lightweight and that would take forever. And talking about lightweight, this thing has 80 grams, and by comparison your basic Mora companion is 100 and I think 10 grams. So this is 24% lighter, and also it's the same size as Benchmade Puko, you know, the knife that I usually carry on my chest pack. And Benchmade Puko has 140-ish grams, so 24% lighter than a Mora and 40% lighter than Benchmade Puko, so incredibly lightweight. Let's see what this thing can do. Now, batoning with a blade this thin is never great, but it's working. Okay, now that we've seen that batoning is no problem, let's just try some feather sticking, okay? So far, I'm actually really impressed. With this knife being only 2.7 millimeters thick, I expected it to just bite into wood and not make any curls at all, but check this out. Okay, right now I'll show you a little trick on how to make feather sticking real easy, and also that's the way that I usually sharpen my pegs, because it's really simple and really safe. Now, this way of making feather sticks is really safe because your knife is secure, and really easy because both of your hands are on the piece of wood, so you have a lot of control. When ordering this knife, you can go for sharpened or unsharpened spine. Now, mine came without the sharp spine because I forgot to mention it, but I sharpened it myself. Now we'll just scrape some really fine shavings and start our fire. And it's raining again. Finally got my coffee and life is good. Now let's talk about this knife for a minute. As you've seen, this knife cuts really well. It's a thin blade and it's really thin behind the edge, so it's phenomenal at cutting. It cuts veggies, it cuts food, it cuts wood, it cuts everything. You can baton with it, but it's not, ideal because it's really thin. It makes great feather sticks. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting it to be a poor performer in that regard, because usually really thin blades, especially with a saber grind. They usually just want to bite into wood instead of making little curls. Now this blade is 4 inches and it's made from Magnacut hardened at 65 RC, and stay with me, I have a little story to tell you about edge retention and this blade. A few days ago I was out hunting. I got 2 medium-sized boars. Now if you're a hunter, you know how hard boar is on a knife. Their coat is really thick, it's full of dirt, full of mud, full of all sorts of abrasive stuff, and they usually just dull blades really quickly. I was able to process both boars with this little knife, skinning and everything, and it actually went through bone, so rib cage and pelvis on both of them. Since it's a small knife and I couldn't get a lever on it, I actually had to baton through the pelvis, and guess what? No damage to the blade whatsoever, so it holds an edge phenomenally. Now the thing you're probably wondering is why I said it's a high-tech knife. Well, first of all, Magnacut is the steel for knives to have in 2023. It's an awesome steel. Next, the handle on this knife is 3D printed titanium. Well, actually it's 3D printed laser bonded titanium. The handle is quite thin but actually really comfortable. It's comfy for a push cut, draw cut, reverse cut, and as you can see, this is the profile, and it actually has a lanyard loop. So really awesome handle. Now you're probably wondering how does a metal blade feel in your hand, and you'd be surprised. It's a really thin handle and you can heat it up with your hand really quickly, and the grip on this thing is just amazing. The grip on this thing feels like really fine sandpaper, like 2000 grit sandpaper. It just feels great when your hands are wet, when your hands are bloody. It doesn't slip at all, and it's not abrasive to your skin, so it's a great handle. So great blade, great handle. And now the sheath. The sheath on my model actually has a ulti clip or ulti lock system, and you can get it in this configuration and with just a basic belt loop. So ulti-link, the retention on it is just amazing. Now as you can hear, it clicks really well and no wiggle whatsoever. It's got a lot of cool details on the sheet, like a thumb ramp, reverse thumb ramp. It's got a little drain hole right here. It's actually even got a small screw. I'm not sure if I can focus on it, but right at the tip is a small screw, so you can drain water really easy that way. It's also 3D printed, and it's 3D printed from PA11 polyamide. Now if you're like me, that doesn't mean anything to you, but it's a quality sheet. And let me just put it back. Yeah, it's a quality sheet. So I have this knife for a couple of weeks. I've been using it all the time, so hunting, hiking, bushcrafting, and even in the kitchen, because, well, I wanted to test it out, and so far it performs really well. One thing to note, this is not a full tang knife, and the tang on this thing is actually really short. I think the tang of this blade goes somewhere around here. and that may seem really short, but since the handle is pure titanium and it's made so it's really strong on the front part near the ricasso, they claim it's as durable as a full tang knife. Now, so far I've been using it quite hard for this size of a knife and I have absolutely no problems. It's time to address the elephant in the room, and that is its price. Now, its base price is 240 euros. You can buy it in a couple of different steel options. The top one being Magnacut, and the cheapest one is, I think, 12C, which is also a great steel, really pure and really quality steel, and it's actually a lot better steel than most people think. But I wanted a Magnacut knife because I don't have any. So you can buy it without a sheath, with a basic sheath, or with this sheath with a Tech-Lock or Ulti-Lock system. And it also comes with a belt loop. So base price is 240 euros, and top spec knife is 290 euros. Now that's a lot for a knife, especially a small knife, but considering what you're getting, it's a fair price. Printing titanium is really expensive. Printing this kind of a sheet is really expensive. Magnacut as a steel is really expensive and it's hard to work with. So there's a lot of work that goes into making one of these knives. And I think the price is worth it. Now they have a few different models. This is their smallest one, and this is actually called the TiNy, which is appropriate. They also have the Unity. Oh, I forgot to mention, you can also choose a couple of handle patterns. This pattern right here is called the Flow pattern, and there's a couple of them. Then there's a Unity model, and that's like a bushcraft or hunting model. It's got 12 centimeter blade and a bigger handle, and that's actually my next knife from Ak Tools. So that knife also comes in a couple of different steel options, couple of different blade options. You can choose between a hunting blade, a bushcraft blade, a survival blade, and a compact survival blade. So it ranges from 12 centimeters to, I think, 15.5 or 16 centimeters. The reason I told you probably never heard of this knife is because Ak Tools is a small company run by two guys from Germany. A few months ago they actually became really popular in Germany because they made a couple of knives or machetes for a few guys on some survival show called 7 vs Wild, I think. Now, if you're outside Germany or you don't speak German, I'm pretty sure you never heard of this company or this knife again, or this knife. So I stand by my statement that this is the best knife you never heard of. If you're still with me, I want to thank you for watching this video. Now, I know it's a bit longer than usual. Well, it's a bit longer than I expected it to be, and I talk a lot in this video, but well, it's a cool knife, it's a cool product, and I want it to cover everything about it. So thanks for watching this video. I'll see you next time, and stay frosty, my friends. Bye bye.